meeting of 2018, full council meeting. Have you all signed in? There's no hands going up, so I presume you are. Okay. If there is an emergency, the emergency exit is there at the top of the stairs. You go down the emergency stairs there, round the corner to the cross at the T-junct here at the back of us, and wait there, and then one of our clerks will check you over there if there is an emergency. There won't be. That's the last word. Okay. Could everybody turn their mobiles to either silent or off, please?
Thank
you. Right, before we start, ladies and gentlemen, it's now our duty to tell everybody that we have the passing away of Mr. Kenneth Filey and Mr. Eric Clarkston. Ken was an honorary citizen and a former mayor of the town of Filey. He also was health and safety advisor to the council. His funeral is Friday at 1 o'clock at Methodist. Thank you, William. Eric Clarkson's funeral will be held at St Oswald's on the Wednesday the 17th of January, right, at 12:30. Thank you.
St Oswald's?
Yes, St Oswald's.
Mr. Clarkson was also
he was an honorary citizen, yes. Right, this is a point where I'll call for a minute's silence for both Mr. Ken Leafley and Mr. Eric Clarkson, for both honours citizens. Right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go back to the agenda now. The first item on the agenda is... oh, by the way, before I go on to that, does anyone of the councillors would like to say anything regarding Ken? A short version.
I don't think we really need to say a great deal about Ken, other than he was a servant to town, both as a councillor and also as a town mayor, and also in his role as health and safety advisor. Ken, you know, it was a lovely man, really mild, gentle manner, and I'm sure that he'll be missed by all his friends and family.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Councillor
Wright.
Just say I've worked with him all the years that I've been on by the town council and on Filey in Bloom as well. He was on for a long time. Very good and a proper gentleman he was. Always very polite, always very smart, and he did his duty very, very well. And he deserved, you know, this honorary citizen and everything. He's a very good man.
Thank you very much, Marion. Councillor Buzzenberg.
Well, we know Ken was very, very health and safety minded, and he was there through all the years of the Health and Safety Committee, and our safety day, and he was an integral part of that, and that safety day would never have happened without his input. And his health and safety knowledge was second to none, in my view. He's to be commended for all he did for this council in respect of that.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Any members of the public? This is your chance. No? Okay. I did write something in the obituaries in the paper for him, and you know, so there is something in the obituaries from the mayor himself. Right. I thought it had. Okay. Right, we'll go on then to number 2, apologies. Before we move into apology, I think it's best if we move items 7 and 14 of the agenda. It would be best if council consider them after item 3, so they will be moved up the agenda. This is for Yorkshire, to the Yorkshire and Trafford Valley. Okay, we've come a long way as Trafford Valley tonight, and I'm sure they don't want to be hanging about this weather. Okay? Right, thank you. I will now hand over to the clerk to read out a list of apologies.
Apologies from Councillor Horsley for being on holiday, Councillor Glanville for family reasons, personal reasons, Councillor Haxley for illness, and Councillor Cross for personal reasons.
Right, thank you. Does everybody agree on those?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded of the declarations of interest. The council to receive any declarations of interest in accordance with the requirements of the Localism Act 2011, and to consider any applications for dispensation in relation to disclosable pecuniary interests or personal interests. Are there any? No. If there is any crops up later on, please speak just before the actual thing is said. Okay, we'll now move on to item 7. To the Yorkshire. I will now hand over to Janet Deacon, the Tourism and Marketing of Scarborough Council, to give her presentation of plans for the 2018 Tour de Yorkshire and its route through Filey.
Okay, thanks very much, and thank you for inviting me along. I've got quite a long presentation, but I'm going to whisk through it as quickly as I possibly can, and really just focus on the bits that are pertinent to Filey. I'm going to be giving this presentation tomorrow at the Aircon Centre in full to businesses and what have you at 11 o'clock tomorrow if anyone wants to come along. But I'm going to whisk through it as quickly as I can. Okay, so the Tour de Yorkshire, I'm not sure if many of you are aware of how it actually came about, but it came after, it was a legacy following the Tour de France Grand Départ into Yorkshire, and Christian Prudhomme, who was the director of the Tour de France, along with Gary Verity, created this new world-class event for Yorkshire, and this is going to be the 4th year that the event has come to the area now. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking to businesses to say how they can really maximise the opportunities of the event in this area as well. So just to give you a quick reminder of what the event's about. This is last year's visit from us here. year's event, and I wanted to show you that because you could see some of the things that the villages and the towns and the communities had done to decorate their towns and the land art that they produced as well. So last year's race had 2.2 million spectators watching that, and it had 177 different countries watching the race worldwide. So 9.7 million TV viewers, actually it was 180 countries, and it generated £64 million to Yorkshire. That was just over that weekend. But we know that people who came to the area have come back. They've never been before. It's brought first-time visitors to the area, and they've come back and they've spread the word how lovely it is. The fourth year just reinforces that Yorkshire Coast message as well, because we know again when they come anywhere on the Yorkshire Coast, their visitors are travelling up and down the coast. So I'm delighted that the race, and this has been through lots of pestering and bantering and saying, come on, we need it to come into Filey now. And Councillor Cockrell has been very, very much behind that, with myself, hammering on the door of ASO and Gary Verity's door. So we're delighted now that they've incorporated Filey within the race for 2018. So the 2018 race goes from Beverley to Doncaster, and from Richmond to Scarborough, and Barnsley to Halifax. Yeah, is that right? Yes, Barnsley to Ilkley, sorry, and Halifax to Leeds. Oh, squiggly lines. Yeah. So I'm not going to show you that film. That film actually takes you through some images of the areas that it's actually going to be travelling. So we've provided quite lots of footage, and there's Filey footage in there. But because of time, I'm not going to run through that one. So if you want to see that, come tomorrow to the Avon Centre. So Beverley to Doncaster is stage 1, and that diagram shows you that it's 182 kilometres long. It's got 2 sprints. And 1 King of the Mountains. So, and that's, as I say, starts in Beverley and goes to Doncaster. Stage 2, and that's the other important thing this year, it's 4 days. Previous years have been 3 days, it's been extended to 4 days. And that's because ASO have seen the passion that Yorkshire has for cycling, so they've extended that, which is great, which means we can showcase much more of Yorkshire as well. So stage 2, Barnsley to Ilkley, and again there's a graphic that shows there's 2 sprints and there's 3 King of the Mountains climbs there, and then this is the one that's most important to us, and that's Richmond to Scarborough. Now in terms of the route that it's coming in, it's coming in along the A170 and turning off at East End by Walker's Fish and Chips, up into Hackness, and then it goes to Silfo, Suffield, in through Scorby Village at Scarborough, over Scorby Road onto Station Road, and it comes down the coastal path, coastal road, and into Scarborough. It goes up Columbus Ravine, up North Way, past the railway station, over the Valley Bridge, out onto the A165. And then into Filey, coming in on the Scarborough Road, down Ravine Road, along the Beach Road, the Crescent, Bellevue Street, Station Avenue, Muston Road, into Muston, Carr Lake, and Caton Low Road, Stony Heights, Seymour Road, Queen Margaret, Foreshore Road, and then it finishes on Royal Albert Drive. So that's the route coming into the borough, and that's the route it's coming in through into Filey. So the route has 2 sprint finishes and 2 King of the Mountains as well, and again it's 184 kilometres. all of these routes are very strategically planned in terms of timings, infrastructures, and of course which authorities have put some funding in for to be start-forth initiatives. So there's lots of planning involved in that. And I must say, in the Scarborough one, there are 5 railway crossings that they're going to have to navigate, and they've had very, very lengthy discussions with rail operators about timings and things like that. So it's great that we've got it coming into the area. And then stage 4 on Sunday the 6th is the Halifax to Leeds, and that's the big one. That's the beast that the climbers are going to have to contend with. 189.5 kilometres. 6 king of the mountain climbs and 2 sprints. Okay, so the women's race. The women's race is part of stage 1, Beverley to Doncaster and Barnsley to Ilkley. That's going on that was 1 day. That's now gone over to 2 days. And again, this area in terms of women's race has really put the women's racing on the map, on the world's map, because they're now doing the same routes as the guys do, and over 2 very, very strenuous days as well. We've got the Maserati 40 that anybody can join, and then our charity this year is the air ambulance. And again, we'll be working very closely with them to maximise the opportunities for them to raise money as our charity partner for the 2018 event. And they'll be doing all sorts of things in the workplace, with the various businesses, with community groups and schools as well. So tomorrow I'll be passing on contacts, and I'll send you this presentation without the bills at the space, so that you can see if there's anything that you want to do with the Yorkshire Air Ambulance from a town council point of view. Okay, tow makers, we're always desperate for tow makers, and these are people that are the meeters and greeters and that really can help visitors to the area manoeuvre around and really provide them with assistance and support. So if there's anybody that you know of that would like to be a tow maker, let me know. But there is I will be telling you in a second that there is a website where all of this information is on and where people can go and register to be a tow maker. But they're the most valuable people that support this race, and they're an absolute godsend to us. One of the things as well regarding the tow makers, they're across various points. And it's really useful if we've got somewhere in Filey where the tow makers can meet, can perhaps go for refreshments or use the loo. So we look for a venue that will support the tow makers that are going to be based here in Filey as well. Okay, so that's just some quotes, because the tow makers absolutely love being part of the event, and they love the success that the event brings for them and the fulfilment it brings to them as well. Bike libraries is another important thing that's actually come out of the Tour de Yorkshire. 5,000 bikes now have been donated to the bike libraries. The nearest bike library is in the old prison in Scarborough. But again, they're always looking for new places where people can donate bikes, especially now after Christmas, when new bikes have been given to children. If there's any bikes going, if you take them to the bike libraries, it means that everybody's then got access to the use of a bike, which is fantastic as well. We have the publicity caravan. This is where all the sponsors, so there'll be, I think there's going to be around about 20 vehicles in the publicity caravan, and they stop at strategic points, so they'll be stopping in Filey, they'll be dishing out goodies and really bringing that sort of carnival atmosphere to the event as well. I just want to show you this. This is some ideas, again, of where you can get involved or get your community groups involved in some of the land art. Whitby Town Council did that one. Hummonby, when it came through Hummonby, was it year 1? Oh, sure, I can't remember now. But they really did a fantastic job with painting bikes and flowers in yellow and what have you, the colours. But these are just some of the ideas that bunting, cakes. The yarn bombers, I don't know if you've heard about those, they're the knitters. They knit lots of little jumpers in the colours and place them all over. There we go, they're very yarn bomber things. So that sort of gives you an idea of some of the things that people got involved in. But we worked with lots of disadvantaged groups last year as well, and they did some really creative things that we put out on display at the town hall and along the route as well. So that's really how I would reach out to you as Filey Town Council to really engage with your community groups and get them involved in really showcasing Filey in the yellow and blue and what have you. In terms of Whitby Town Council, they had an artist that they appointed to actually do the design, and then they worked with the Scarborough Council Parks Department to actually cut the grass on the donkey field and then paint it. They got somebody in to paint it, but there's lots of things that you can consider. They had a working group, a Toady Yorkshire working group with Whitby Town Council, which I went along to whenever, I think they were once a month on the run up to the event, and we talked so that we need to be aware of what you're doing so we can really promote what you're doing in Filey as well. We have commissioned a huge piece of a community project which we will be announcing shortly, but that will incorporate that project coming into Filey and working with community groups as well, and that's the Borough Council that's supported that, so that will be across Filey and Scarborough as well. So these are just some of the messages I'm going to be talking about tomorrow with the businesses, making sure that they sign up to the newsletter. We've got a newsletter and a website. The website is Latour Yorkshire. And if you go onto that website, it's got everything. It's got the routes, it's got everything that you need to know about the race. It's got the newsletter, so if you sign up to the newsletter, you'll get regular updates and things like that as well. But it's got absolutely everything on there, so if you go to that website and sign up, that's great. Again, when people are coming to the area, they're going to be asking questions, so sort of brush up on knowledge in relation to what the Tour de Yorkshire is when it's taking place. And again, the thing I'm going to be talking to businesses about tomorrow is to make sure that they're spreading the word about the event coming to the area and encouraging as many people as possible to stay over that bank holiday weekend, because it's the bank holiday Saturday that this race is taking place, so we want them here for the full weekend ideally. There's a business toolkit that's going to support those businesses, and there's also a schools pack. So any of the schools, if the Filey Academy or any of the other schools around the area want to get involved, there's a real useful pack there for them to access. Social media, again, make sure that if you use social media that you follow Latour Yorkshire and the Tour de Yorkshire Facebook and Twitter pages, because again there's lots of things in there and you can post things, and if you tag them in, they'll retweet and share the Facebook posts that you put on as well. So that's a useful tool for spreading what you're doing and encouraging people to. These are just some of the things that people have put on, and they've spread it around all of their friends and the world. And taking pictures as well of the land art. If you're doing any land art or you're doing anything specific, take pictures and tweet it, and then that's going to be shared as well. So they're just the, as I say, I'll send you this so you can circulate it, but it's got all of the social media tools there. So one of the things that people are starting to look now, they're starting to look and book now. So again, we're going to be encouraging businesses to make sure they've got all of their availability on the website up to date, you know, as much as possible, and as much information as possible on there about the Tour de Yorkshire as well, so people can see. And again, there's all sorts of quirky things that people are doing to adapt their product to fit into the to tie into the race. But they're the colours. Again, Whitby Town Council provided bunting to the community as well, and we can tell you where to get the colours and where to get that from. That's reasonable as well. Or yarn bombers can make it if you've got some. Some of the local breweries did their own beers, the biscuits. They have Tony Yorkshire logo on the top of cappuccinos and things like that. They even went to the extreme of painting the sheep, spraying the sheep, but they were not harmed in any way. And it's all about working together, collaborating with your businesses and your community groups to really get the most out of the event. And of course think nationally, because the world's watching. The world's watching and the world will see on the television. There's a helicopter that follows the route, so it's live terrestrial television. So, you know, anything that you do, let me know. We'll make sure that they're aware of it in the helicopter, and they'll pick up whatever you've done if it's big enough on the television. The other thing is they have what they call a yellow book with key points and key focus points. So if there's anything, any sort of did you know facts that you'd like us to include, you know, 2 or 3 facts about Filey in particular, send them to me and I'll make sure that it goes in their yellow Bible. And that's what the commentators read out when they're in the helicopters. As I say, there's just some examples of the land art that people have done. And that one as well. And that's it. So, if there's any questions,
does anybody want to ask any questions? Councillor Mead.
Do we have approximate time?
Not as yet, but it usually sets off around about 12 and it finishes 12 to 12:30 and it finishes between 4:30 and 5 in Scarborough. So I'd say probably 4ish. Something like that. But the exact times will go on, and as soon as I know them I'll send you them, but they will be on the Tow Yorkshire website as soon as the exact timings are published. And ASO, they're coming to do logistical site visits at the end of this month as well to finalise everything, so it shouldn't be too long and they'll all be on there. But yeah.
Is anybody else? Councillors? No, is there any members of the public who'd like to speak on this? No? Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Janet, for that.
I'm here.
And I'm sure we'll be in touch with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We'll now go on to number 14 on the list. Trafford Rally. A request for finance assistance, Trafford Rally. I am sure you all have read and had a chance to read the documents. I will now hand over to the event organisers, Lloyd Walker. Lloyd?
Good evening all, and thank you very much indeed for inviting me along this evening. I think you've all been distributed with information previously, but as advised, Trafford Rally Yorkshire is organised by a group of unpaid motorsport enthusiasts and members of Trafford Motor Club, which is based in Leeds, have members located throughout the country. Events run in accordance with the UK Motorsports Association rules and regulations incurs various costs against limited income. That income quite often is determined by the number of entries that we get. Some years we're oversubscribed, some years we're not. It just depends how the championship's going to some extent, people's interest in it, etc. The event is not VAT registered and therefore we can't reclaim VAT. As I say, I've distributed the information to you. I think you've got a good insight into the expenditure and the income that we have. And due to us being based in Filey, we do incur a little bit more cost than what we would if we were further afield. However, we would be delighted to come back to Filey again. We would like some support. I welcome any questions.
Does anybody want to ask Lloyd a question? Councillors?
No, not a question really, just to say that last year's event was fantastic, and hopefully if you do come back to town this year, it will be even better, and I'm sure when you finish your presentation we'll have a bit of a discussion about that with councils, about how they might be able to help.
Thank you.
Okay, is anybody else? Councillor Wright? We'll take the councillors first and then I'll open it up. Councillor? Okay.
Sorry.
I just saw your hand move.
Yeah, absolutely, I think.
You just showed them on both now.
Aye.
Is there anybody else? Councillors? No?
I will ask a question.
Councillor Wright?
Any particular amount of money that you are looking for that would be with reasonable? Are you going to say an amount or, you know, I mean, maybe you'd like us to give you £250,000.
Well, if you give us that would be very
Yeah,
nice.
we can. So, can we keep it within realistic?
Yeah, I mean, I've given you an indication of the key areas that we would like
Yeah.
for support, and really it's up to you as to how much you give us against that
I just
support.
wondered if there was anything specific to Filey.
Well, I mean, two of the main things, well, three of the main things are the scrutineering
I've got
market.
it in front of me.
Yeah.
I do know. But I am asking the gentleman if he's got any ideas of what he would like to ask us for.
Well, we have got the scrutineering marking, which is a big outlay for us.
Sorry?
The scrutineering marking, because there's nowhere in Filey suitable to examine the cars before they take part in the events. There's also the floodlighting down at the Filey Bridge, and the other biggest cost we incurred last year was the communication equipment. Now this is specialised equipment which is tuned into a special frequency, which is part of the Motorsports Association requirement. That is an emergency for anything that happens out there on the events, and it also keeps in contact with the competitors, so that if there is an emergency, we can radio through immediately to Rally HQ and take necessary action. Now, because we are quite a long way from the forest, we did have to bring a very large mast in last year, which did cause us a lot of extra money. And if anybody that went down to the Everon Centre, you would have seen how big that mast was. It was fairly large and expensive.
Okay, is any more councillors want to ask any questions? You have most of this down on your iPad, so I hope you've read it all, so we can discuss it later. Right, thank you. No more councillors? No? At this point then, I will move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow... Your name, sir?
Yeah, John Murray. I'd just like to say that I thought it was really nice to see the track road rally here in Filey last year. I have a personal friend who entered and is a competitor in that rally. The feedback from him and some other competitors that I heard was that the country park was a great setting for it because it had the perfect standing area for the cars, so it wasn't muddy. It was a good area to be based from. And I'd just like to say very well done to everybody who was involved in bringing that to Filey. As a resident, I thought I have interest in motorsports, and I thought it was a really good event. And Richard, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself on that, waving that flag on the start on that Friday night when all the classic cars went out, didn't you? So it'd be really nice to see you back here, and I think it'd be a good thing for the town.
And just add that if we do come back again, it would be on a very similar format to last year, time-wise and everything.
Right.
And, but we'd like a decision from you as soon as you can, please, because we do have to start planning for next year, and we're already chomping at the bit.
Yes, we know, we understand that.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Casey? Just a minute,
When-
Councillor Casey. Is there any more members of the public would like to speak at this point? Yes, sir.
What date is it?
It's last weekend in September, 28th, 29th.
What's the distance I'm looking for communication?
For the radio, it's right across to Cropton. From here across to Cropton, the other side of Pickering, west of Pickering.
Do you know what frequency?
No, that's up to the boffins, but it is a special frequency that they use which is licensed by the MSA. So that it's a private frequency, you might say, which is only applicable to motorsport.
Do you know what height your mast was? Approximately. 9 metres?
It was quite a height, wasn't it?
30 foot?
I would think you're getting 50 foot, 70 foot, something like that maybe.
It was taller than the Airline Centre. It was
Yeah,
height,
yeah.
taller than the height of the Airline Centre.
Right?
I have a 30 foot mast. I'm situated just outside the country car park.
Right, okay. What I'll do is I'll give you my card and we can communicate and we can get in touch with the communications experts.
Yeah.
That's their department, I'm afraid.
We have VHF, UHF and HF bands operating.
Right. Okay, so I'll give you the
It
details.
may be a help, I don't know.
Yeah, no, thanks very much.
Are you quite happy with that?
Yeah,
Communicating
all around,
together,
I
yeah.
don't know.
And then keep us informed in what's happening.
Personally, I don't think it would be suitable, but we never know. We can't just say no.
Well, there's around about 8 amateurs and pilot with equipment.
Now that I do know is on a totally different frequency to what we used, because we tried using that some years since, and it must be a few years since it just wasn't suitable, so I'm afraid. But as I say, I can put you in touch with the people.
You're on PMR equipment.
I don't think you understand that. So if you get in touch with the people that do that, and then try and sort something out with them, and then please let us know how we go on. Any more members of the public? No? I will now end the adjournment, and only members of the council may speak. Councillor Casey.
Yes, Lloyd, is there any idea when the decision will be taken as to whether it will be coming to Filey or not, or is it dependent on...
It depends how quickly you can get back to us, but our next meeting is Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
If we get a decision before then, there's a possibility that we might be able to let you know before then.
Okay.
Right.
It's down to about 6 of us and we can soon ring around because we're already waiting to put permits in, road closures and whatever else in the forest and everything. So
Okay, thank you very much.
Councillor Holden-Banks.
On the basis of what Councillor Casey's just said, regarding having the opportunity to come back to Filey, have you got somewhere else that you would go to if you didn't come here?
There is a possibility.
You have somewhere else to do in this area, or can't you say?
I can't really say because it's within the Yorkshire Forest Complex area.
Alright, thank you.
There's two possibilities.
Two possibilities, so it would go ahead.
Oh, it would go
Yeah.
ahead regardless, yeah.
Thank you.
Just that you've got all the facilities here, whereas if we go, you've got the majority of the facilities, and also it brings a lot of people into your town.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you. Is any more councillors wish to... No? No? Well, thank you for coming along.
Thank you for giving us allowing us to represent the events and everything. What to aim for you all.
No, I'm sure whoever the next mayor is, I think they'll throw as much in as what we did. Okay.
Okay, thanks very much.
Right, we'll go back to... Oh, right. Right, are we, councillors, are we having a discussion on this at this time then, please? No, it's no meeting, no serious thing. Does any councillor want to speak?
Yes, please. Well, I mean, my feelings on the track road rally are well known, and I'm a great supporter of them, and I would like to think that Filey Town Council could support them financially in some way. And a suggestion I made at the last meeting, I believe, was to, at the very least, fund the scrutineering marquee, which is needed at the country park, and that's a considerable cost of £1,579.50 plus VAT. So I would like to put that on the table, with possibly doing the floodlights as well.
Any more councillors, please? Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, I mirror Councillor Casey's comments in some respect. So I do have to remind members that, you know, we do have our own financial assistance scheme. We've also agreed in principle to support the sport development at Dot School. We've also agreed in principle to support the skate park, something which is long overdue for our youngsters. We've also committed again to support the Filey Town bus, or we will be committed to support the Filey Town bus. We are now asked to cover the full cost of town centre bunting, which is just coming to the equation. We also have the refurbishment of these tables and chairs, which has been on the agenda for so long. We do only have a certain amount of money. I do agree with John that it was a fantastic event, but we must be careful how much we do submit to this.
Councillor Wilson.
I'm in agreement with Councillor Casey on this one. I think it's not asking for the world, I don't think. £1,500 for the hire of the marquee, which brought great deal of benefit to this town, I do know. So, I personally no objection to us supporting the wish for a marquee.
Okay, then
Can I just reply?
yeah, just let Councillor Case reply.
I mean, all the councillors here are fully aware of all our spending commitments and promises and maybe not promises, but commitments we've made. We realise that. And to bring up the grant scheme again is not relevant, because these people that didn't know about the grant scheme, they didn't know that any grant had to be in by the 31st of October last year, for instance. And I think this is a once-a-year opportunity to allow Filey Town Council to get our name out there with something positive, and sponsor the marquee and have our Filey Town Council logo on there, up there, so for all to see. Yeah.
Councillor Wilkie, and then Councillor Anthony.
Yeah, we wanted to get events into the town for however many years I've been on council, probably before that. I do take Councillor Shackleton's point. We have got commitments which we all know about, but I would support Councillor Casey that, you know, we need to support him financially in some way. Maybe it's just a marquee or a couple of things, but at least the marquee I think would be a good idea. That's the biggest cost that I saw there, so I would support that as well.
Thank you for that. Councillor Anthony.
I think at the very least we should go for the marquee, but I think that is at the very least. I think the amount of interest and visitors and everything that's going to be Filey, and as Councillor Wilkie says, we keep wanting these events to come to Filey. At some point the town council has to put money in to bring them into town. We'll get the money back in other ways.
Right, thank you. Any other councillors? Councillor Shackleton?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that my comment on the grant scheme was not for the benefit of Trafford at all. It was just making councillors aware of our financial commitments throughout the year. We can also Trafford in kind, as the borough say that they do. We could supply table and chairs for them.
Yes.
We can help in kind that way.
Yes. There's also been secured the tannoy system, a big tannoy system as well. That is actually secured for this. So Councillor Hawley has actually secured that from somewhere. And I know for a fact before he went on holiday he did tell me it was definitely secured. So there's so much in can. I'll come back to you in a minute, Roy. Councillor Wright.
Yeah, I think that we need to do something towards it. I mean, last time when we first talked about it, I was 50-50. But thinking about it, I think I mean, I didn't see any of it, but there is a lot of interest, and I think, like other councillors said, we've got things we want in Filey. We want the name put it forward, and we do have money in Filey Town Council. It's isn't that we're strapped for cash at all, but I do think that the marquee would be a good idea, and then the in-kind things as well, you know, that we can do, bringing it up to money. How much could somebody just, I can't seem to find it, the amount of money for the floodlights?
£500.
So that would make it up to 2,000.
2017.
Yeah,
£2,079.50.
yeah, something like that.
Not including that.
Okay, Councillor Casey.
Plus that,
Yeah, we claim, if we're doing it, we claim the van back.
yeah, we hire it, we claim that, we don't have to pay it. That helps. Yeah, if we're allowed.
I'll just bring Tom in on this one. Tom?
We might, I sorry, I didn't realise you were going to go down that route. I might have to look into that because I don't know what ramifications there are behind that. Because, like, for instance, if we start doing this, I can't guarantee that HMRC will approve it. Because essentially we'd be buying products for another group and they might take a dim view on that. The problem is if I ring them up and ask them, they won't answer the question because they will not wish to commit themselves. There is something to bear in mind with that, which is that, and also you're setting a precedent that for any group who wants to buy something that doesn't want to pay that, you will potentially be setting a precedent for yourself. It would be much more easy and straightforward to give a straightforward donation. I could guarantee that would be right, or you could buy potentially small items, but I would be a bit queasy about spending thousands of pounds to try and get around that rule.
Right.
Right, Councillor Casey and then Councillor Wilkie.
It's a question for Councillor Cockrell, really. Am I right in saying that Scarborough Borough Council bought the fitness equipment for the Lions? They claimed that back, or did the Lions buy that? I'm not quite certain.
So, Mr Mayor, I don't know.
I think that was I think that's what's happened, so...
But if I can continue, Mr Mayor, I remember Gina, when she was clerk, because in the good old days, the town council would claim the VAT back, but then I think there were some changes, and I remember Gina saying categorically there is no way that the town council can buy things on behalf of somebody else and then claim the VAT back.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd be very pleased with that.
Yeah.
So, we give a donation. That's
another way of doing it,
yeah, and then they spend the money on whatever they're at.
But we can just give a donation full stop.
That's what I was going to say. Let's just keep it simple. Let's not get into making it more complicated than it has to be. Let's just decide on how much we're going to support and just do it.
Councillor Casey again.
Well, my initial proposal was to fund the scrutineering marquee and the floodlights, but as Councillor Shackleton did say, we could also in kind give the tables and chairs for their use on the weekend. So I would like to put forward those three things, or the value of those three things, in whichever format you think is right.
As a donation?
Yeah.
Either just pay them as a donation, but give them the money to, including the VAT, to buy it, to hire it.
Councillor Wilkie.
I would second that.
Right, I would wait for one proposal.
So I was going to say a specific amount. If it's a donation, it needs to be a specific amount, I think.
Exactly. That's
rather than saying this and that.
Well,
we've got the cost there, that, and then
if it's £2,079.50, you include whatever VAT is on that, and then that's the sum we donate.
And then the floodlights are 500 plus that.
we can supply the tables and chairs.
Yeah. So can somebody
Can
work
somebody work
that
out the VAT? You're in business.
Why don't you do 2,000?
What the VAT is.
Make an amendment.
Yeah.
20%.
20% now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we do 2,400.
Okay, I'll propose that as a figure then.
Councillor Anthony.
Am I getting confused now? I thought that Trafford didn't pay VAT.
Sorry.
No.
You
They don't
claim it back.
Right.
Can't claim it back.
£400 on the 2,000,
Yeah.
so we just need to give a straight 2,000. Then
Can't claim it back.
So,
Do
John?
we have to have an amendment now then?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put an amendment in then. It's to err on the side of caution. Why I would propose that the Filey Town Council donate £2,500 to them to spend as they wish on one or two of these items, plus the tables and chairs on loan free of charge.
It's been proposed, is this a second? No, amended, is this a second? Because we've got to do an amendment because it was proposed and seconded on the first one, so this is an amendment.
Councillor
So I'll
Lewis
second it, I'll second the amendment,
Yeah.
if that's how I want to do it.
So that's not substantial.
So now we have to vote on that.
So
So
we're voting
now,
on the amendment.
you go for the amendment first.
So we're voting on the amendment.
You're voting on the amendment first. Okay. And then if the amendment carries with more councillors, right, the majority of councillors, the proposal then falls.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
That's how it works.
So I'm voting.
Okay. All those for? Well, that's everybody.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. So the proposal actually falls. Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, this one will have to go to finance on the next meeting, I believe. Well, it's not down for.
No, it's under 5,000.
It's under 5.
Yes, but we've got to identify where this one's coming
So if council were to pass this, if the council were to pass this today, it would go to finance to sort out where the money would come from. But it would form part of the budget for next year, in essence.
Okay?
Basically.
Yes?
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, councillors, for that. You've got 2,500.
Can I just say thank you very much indeed. I'll get back to our committee and hopefully you'll have an answer within the next few days. So thank you very much indeed. Regarding the PA system and anything else that you can help us with, if you could forward details, maybe through Tom, and then Tom can pass them on to me, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah.
As I say, thank you very much indeed, this is appreciated.
Well, the PA system that he's talking about is a big one that was used up in the country park. And that goes over all the noise of the entrance and that, like, you know. But down on the front, yes, I think I might be able to get my hands on one that would do that, a separate
But
one.
decide to come back, we can talk about it during the year.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks very much indeed. Appreciate it. We need to get on with the rest of the meeting. Okay.
Right, thank you very much, Lloyd, for coming along. Right, we'll go back now to number 4 on the agenda.
You'll be here till June.
You're nearly there, we're nearly there. Okay. Minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Wednesday, the 13th of December. Please. Can you just find me down a little bit, please? Thank you. I'm off this now. Minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Wednesday, the 13th of December 2017. You have all had a chance to read the minutes. Please, could I have a proposer and a seconder to approve them? Yes. Councillor Busby. Councillor Casey. All those in favour, please. Kevin's going to freeze up in a minute.
I'm sorry.
I will see it.
Right. Public participation time. Members of the public may now speak. Please note that 15 minutes is available for members of the public to speak. Are there any? Yes, sir. If you could keep it as short as possible.
Happy New Year to everybody, to start with. Right. You may be aware, I'm here to talk about the planning application that's just been submitted for Churchcliffe Drive.
Yeah.
It's gone into Scarborough Borough Council, it's on their website as from today. An awful lot of information in that planning application, with 30 documents and some assessment reports as well. The planning application that has gone in with the plan hasn't changed from the exhibition that was at the Everon Centre. It's still with a large L-shaped block on 2 stories, even though there was an awful lot of objections to that from residents and councillors. And in their community involvement statement, it gives a list of the feedback that they've had from the residents and the councillors that have responded. 67% of the respondents objected, and mainly objected to the size of the apartment block more than anything that was on that site. Then my question is will that planning application go in your next planning meeting? And could you tell me when that is, please?
As it's
Only a week's time, so
It'll be in
no,
in about a
it's
week's
too early,
Right.
so we haven't received it yet.
Okay, it's just that we've got some qualified people reading through all that documentation to pick up anything that we have concerns about. So we'll put something together on that for that meeting.
Right.
That's really all I wanted to say.
Right.
I just wanted to make you aware that that planning application is now in and live
Yeah.
with Scarborough Borough Council. So it's time that you will have. I'm not sure what the time deadline is, but all residents as well will have an opportunity to make comments on that planning application. Okay, and that's all. Thank you very much for your time.
Right, thank you very much. If any more members of the public wish to speak? No, we'll sorry, nearly.
Yeah, concerned car parking down Murray Street.
Yeah.
The vehicle constantly double parked at the bottom end.
We know it.
The other day, there was a young lady with a pram nearly walked down because the obstruction drivers couldn't see, and that's a crossing point with road curves. And it's not it's nearly every day.
Yeah. I've got Councillor Meek first, the Alexander, and then Councillor Holden.
If I recall, we've already brought this subject up with the police and Filey, and they got the traffic police in, and they said it's not causing an obstruction.
We all
Thank you for that.
We all beg to differ.
Apparently the traffic police came down and had a look at it, and that's what they said. That's when Sergeant Gosling was there.
Councillor Holden Vance.
I was in full agreement with you. I reported it to the police myself personally, so I have a shop down that street and I have dreadful difficulty in parking, and yet the same person parks and double parks. The police are totally aware of it. I've spoken to them at great length about it. They, as Councillor Meek says, put it on to somebody else. When I speak to the, we call them ticket people, thank you, parking attendants, they say that he moves it, that he goes up, says you're going to get, and he'll just come out and he will just move it and he will drive around for half an hour and then he'll put it straight back again. So I totally appreciate it. It frustrates me to pieces, but it seems to be, and the police don't seem to have any power over stopping them doing it either.
I mean, as that young lady got caught with the pram,
Yeah.
it would have been a whole different ballgame.
We all know who it is,
Yeah.
and everybody knows who it is, and the police know who it is. It's just not right. I don't know what the answer is.
Did you like to say something?
As far as I'm aware, the parking bays, it's to do with the parking bays, and that's why the council deal with it, because he's parking adjacent to a parking bay, and that's an offence in itself from what I'm aware. I don't know what all their offences are, the council, you'd have to speak to Scarborough Council, but that's why they will ticket him if they catch him at the spot. They did at one point say that they were going to monitor on CCTV. I don't know whether that took place or not. Obviously not, if they're still doing it. But that's what the offence is, I think, is parking adjacent to a parking space where we can park for an hour. We parked outside the bay, and that's what the
One
issue
is
is.
the loading bay,
Yeah.
where it says loading bays are a joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Councillor Wright.
Could we then write to the department who has the traffic wardens, the person who's in charge of it, report this and say that we have reported it in the past and that surely there is something that they could do. Because if it's in writing to them, they've got to do something about it, surely. Because otherwise, it just gets passed around from pillar to post. It must be, well, 5 years at least, to my knowledge, that we've been on with this.
Yeah.
They just blatantly does it and don't care about anybody or anything.
Right. Councillor Mick.
To my recollection that this gentleman, the parking wardens, I think they're doing them 3 or 4 times, all he does is pay the fine and just carry on doing it.
Councillor Holden, ma'am.
Just in saying, in defence of the traffic wardens, is that they are very nice and they do go up, they do try and moving on, but like you just said, Councillor Meek, he just pays the fine and just continues doing it, so.
Alright. Councillor Wilkie.
So, sorry, just to go back to what you were saying. I was saying then that the police are powerless in this instance and it's down to the local
council.
authority.
As far as I'm aware, it's to the council. If it's not causing an obstruction to the highway,
which it clearly is.
it's not if they can get past because it's a single, it's one-way traffic.
Right.
So it's not blocking anybody coming the other way.
Car, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's to do with the parking bays.
Right.
That's what I've been instructed before in the past.
Right.
Is that.
So,
I can park my car there then.
so if we're relying on the local authority, then we might as well give up now.
No,
In my opinion.
Councillor Casey.
We all know the position that vehicle parks in causes an obstruction for larger vehicles turning right. It's a well-known fact and it's obvious. The police who can deal with obstructions could go out there any day of the week and see that happening and prosecute them.
Yeah, it has to be at the time of when it's happening, and the person who's being obstructed would have to report it.
Okay. Is there any... where am I? Yes, we're still on that. Yeah, go.
Probably a simple application of the yellow lines in a pattern. There's a no parking area at the side of the parking bay to the other side.
That took 2 years to get that.
Yes.
It will be a simple.
Right. Councillor Meek.
Answer to that question.
We're calling this then.
It's still the public highway, so no matter which side of the double yellow line you park, you should be there.
No, I didn't mean double lines, I meant the hatch. A patch. The no parking area where they go right across the road.
I'm with you now.
Okay, I'll fetch Councillor Cockrell in and then we will be moving on.
Yeah, just to point out one thing that hasn't been mentioned is the danger to pedestrians.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Because they can't see when they're cutting across double car gates, a car going down Murray Street can't see them.
Right, thank you for that. I'll take it you'll be looking further into that then.
Me?
Please.
We write a letter to Scarborough.
Right. Is everybody happy about writing a letter to Scarborough?
I think it
All
also,
those in favour of that, please show.
I think it also should also include that we should send it to the police because there are offences committed there that the police can deal with.
Peace, yeah, the police and
So send it to
traffic
Scarborough.
yeah. Okay. Right, I know the police are in a bit of a hurry now. So I'm going to move on to number 8 now, so bring them in. Okay, so they can get on and get the duties done. Okay.
Hi, I'm Peter Crystal from Eastfield. Have you all got a copy of the report, have you?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, it was sent out.
On a separate email, was it? Yeah.
Carry on.
Another one.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so obviously you've got... Just carry on anyway. Okay, so obviously at the front there's a breakdown of the crime figures over the last couple of years, okay? Has anybody any questions about that?
Is there any questions
Any
about
questions
breakdown of
officers?
the crime figures, please, from councillors? And this is for councillors only. No. No.
No? Okay. Obviously you turn over you'll see a crime breakdown and there's basically an example of some of the crimes that have been looked at over the period. and it gives you an explanation how they're dealt with and what the result of those was. Okay? Has anyone got any questions on those?
Yeah, sorry.
Go on, go on.
Just want to say antisocial behaviour doesn't seem to be going down. I mean, 27 incidents of antisocial behaviour, that's a lot of people being made very unhappy.
It is, yeah, and there's a bit of assurance there. What I can tell you is there's quite a few hotspots within the town, which looked at by the police, and what we are doing and continue to do is to target patrols at irregular periods throughout the week, just so we can tackle that, and that's an ongoing thing that we're hoping to reduce.
It's just that I've had sort of dealings with a couple of people that have been on the receiving end of this antisocial behaviour, and over the last 3 or 4 months it doesn't seem to have improved.
Okay.
We're talking about Reynolds Street.
Reynolds Street?
In what way are you talking about antisocial behaviour? There's different types. Well, drug dealing, noise.
Okay, the ones that the ones that you're referring to here, are you talking about young people or residents? Residents,
yeah.
My advice there is quite often we get reports from people down Reading Street and passing by who do report to us about things that you've suggested there. That would go down as information, and then if there's enough information, that is the only time when we can do like warrants and things like that. There has been a couple that have taken place in the last 6 months. I'm not sure what the outcomes were from that, but I know that it is from information from the public that we need.
It would be interesting to know how much information you need. It would seem some of these people...
That would be judged by when it goes to the court to get the warrant. That's something that comes from them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
With regards to the issue on Moy Street, obviously everyone's not very happy about that. I've taken notes again, reference people with crowns not able to get past, about people not being able to see residents walking around the corner, and I'll make sure that's looked at again.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've made notes on that, and we'll look at that. Are there any other questions or concerns that I can be aware of before we go?
Councillor Holden Downs?
I would just like to know, are we still being fully presented by police, or are there still a lot going to the tracking centre at Kirkby?
There's still a lot of involvement with the police being Kirkby.
Is that reflecting on the policing that we're getting in Filey, would you say?
No, because we're supported through other areas as well.
Okay.
We've got Scarborough to support us in other areas, so obviously supervisors that be will obviously rearrange shifts to make sure that everywhere's covered. Alright, so you're still getting covered in Filey and the surrounding areas as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Any more questions from councillors? Please? No? Have you finished your report?
I've finished, yeah, if you're happy with that. If you've got nothing else.
No, they're all quiet, so...
Cool, aren't they? Excellent. All right.
You can cool off a bit. Yeah.
Warm in here, how you doing?
Yeah, no. Well, you've got off. Well, thank you for coming along. Right, councillors, we're going back to number 6 now. First, after saying that, the police have a job to do, so I thought, well, we kept them forward, so we can get on with it. Okay. Council committee working parties and outside bodies. Council to note the following minutes. 13th of the 12th, 17, Finance and General Purposes Committee. Have we any questions on that one? You can open them up. I hope you've all read them. If you've any questions on that, I'm sure that Councillor Shackleton will answer them as Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. No question, I think one of those is a true and correct record then.
Right, all those in favour of that being a true and correct record? Thank you. We'll go on to number 2. 18th of the 12th, 2017, Planning Committee meeting. Has anybody any questions on that one? I think I took that, didn't I, Maureen? Chaired that.
You did?
Yes, because Councillor Wilkie was unavailable, he was trapped on the M62 again. So I was volunteered into that one. Okay, is there any questions on that, please? No, can I put that forward as a true and correct record? All those in favour? Thank you. We go on now to... Oh, that's... Blimey, that was quick. Which normally quite a few of them, isn't there? Yeah. So we go on to number 9 now, back in sequence nearly. Borough and County Council reports. Scarborough Borough Council, Councillors report. Councillor Cockrell, please. Have you all read Councillor Cockrell's submitted written report? Unfortunately, I couldn't open it on my iPad.
Don't look at me.
Well, I also put something in it that's
What a surprise. Could I just say, we don't know what's happening with us too. Whether we're out of sequence with the Wi-Fi, but we keep losing it.
You keep losing it, I've just lost it.
Losing the Wi-Fi altogether.
Yes, I've just lost it. Now, has anybody else lost the Wi-Fi?
No.
Yes, Councillor Thurston has as well.
Yeah.
Have you got it? Is it up at the top corner?
It was a big around.
I'll get nothing. Yeah.
You've got a copy.
I don't know.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
Can I just say, Chair, members don't have to rely on the Wi-Fi this evening. If they just download the documents and open them on the tablet instead of opening them live.
Yeah.
We've had a problem in this chamber for several months.
We have.
Oh, it needs sorting out. The easier route is to download them.
Yeah.
And then just look.
Yeah. And I've got any further with that. Oh, right. Good.
You should have it now, it's rebooked.
Yeah. All right. I've got mine back. Okay then, Councillor Cockrell.
Yeah, well, you got the written one, a couple of updates. The Cobble Landing, Fish Tip Tree, I can inform you that the crab pot structure on Cobble Landing will be repeated this year, and the switch on will take place on Saturday the 1st of December.
Yeah.
Evo Sports, pleased to be able to inform you that the Borough Council continues to support the project. With £200,000 currently on the reserve list as the potential Borough Council contribution to phase 3 of the improved sports and leisure provision is being recommended to be moved up a level from the current reserve list to the capital programme. You remember phase 3 is the construction of an extension to phase 2, building to contain a fitness suite and dance studio, and this predominantly for the use of the community but available for the school to hire.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Councillor Cockrell? Councillor Mead.
It's not on the statement. It's regarding a letter that the skate park sent in August to the estates, and to this day we still have had no reply, which I mentioned to you at the last meeting.
And I asked if you'd send me a copy.
Well, someone should have received it, and someone should have had the courtesy to reply.
I don't disagree, but for me to do anything, I need a copy in my hand, because I don't know who it's gone to. You know, there's hundreds of people at the Borough Council. If you give me a copy, I can...
It's sent into the estates.
These are things to give me a copy, and I can go into it.
So if we don't give you a copy of what you're saying, then you can't write about it.
It makes life a hell of a lot easier.
So is that yes, you will look into it, or no, you won't look into it?
Yes, I will look into it.
So can you, in other words, can you give Councillor Cockrell
I'll get hold of the copy.
a copy of that? Yes.
And from
And
our,
then let him look into it.
from our conversation, all that he wanted is written confirmation that you can have the land on West Avenue Car Park Ilderston, which I informed this town council many months ago that you could have. But you want it in writing.
Still haven't had it in writing.
That's what I'm saying, you want it in writing.
And all the funding we tried putting in for,
Yeah.
there's no point if you can't prove you haven't got the land.
Yeah. Well, give me the letter and I'll take it forward. Simple.
Councillor Shackleton and then Councillor Hampton.
Yeah, just to clarify that, because I am in possession of an email from Councillor Cockle regarding the land, saying that yes, a skate park can be, but it is only an email for, and I think the skate park will need something a bit more formal.
That's fine. That's fine. Give me the letter and I can progress it.
But surely on the same subject, that email should have been followed up with a letter.
No, I made it clear at the time of the email that that was all that will be coming forward at the time. But now you want something better and I'll take it forward.
So can you can give them a copy of that letter, they take it forward, then you report back on it later.
Right.
Okay. Right, thank you. Is there any more questions? Councillor Wright.
You had a meeting with Mr. Filey up
Sorry,
on...
Marilyn.
Was you before me?
It's all right.
Yes, you are, yeah.
Yes, you was. Sorry,
Okay,
Marilyn.
Mary, you carry on.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, what have you done?
You had a meeting up with Mr. Filey. Was there anything could materialise from that we should know about? I mean, we haven't had any reports from them of recent weeks or months. You've got to be...
I should have been
I should have known, but you carry on.
Right, Councillor Anthony now.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say about that, but just to answer Marion, I believe they will be coming to talk to us at some point in the not too distant future about changes.
Right, Councillor...
No, that wasn't my point. I was merely answering Marion. I just wanted to go back, Councillor Cockrell, to the EBO sports thing. Can you just... When you're looking at a business case for phase 3, we've just discussed phase 1 and 2, that the business plan wasn't sufficient.
Right, no, phase 1 was the hard course.
Yes.
Phase 2 was refurbishing the swimming pool building.
Right.
For a sports hall. And phase 3 is the extension for a dance studio and fitness suite.
So I am getting confused here. What was the one that we had in...
That business case was
yes.
for phase 2.
Right.
Which
I'm just confused why we're on to looking at phase 3 before we've even got phase 2 sorted out.
Well, because there's no way that the Borough Council will contribute to phase 2 without being convinced that phase 3 is
going to happen. Yeah.
Which I believe is what the town council...
It's what we agreed.
Yeah. I mean, it was this project, the Town's Council wishes that it went in one single phase. Obviously that has changed now, which is a shame.
It was because of the funding, the potential for funding for Sports England, and that was why the business case for phase 2 alone came in to allow the funding bid for phase 2 alone to be put into Sport England, because funding for phase 3 will come from Sport England pot.
Yes, thank you.
So what we do need is for Scarborough Council to stop putting bids in for sports in Scarborough and allow Filey to put a bid in for sport. Because I think that, you know, these people that's giving you the money will say, well, that area's had their quota, so there'll be no money for you. So we need, you know, to let's have Filey on the map and let's get this sport bid in.
Right.
These counties might look at it like that.
Councillor Holden Vance.
Completely different question to you, Councillor Cockrell, and I'm not sure if you're the right person I should be asking this, but maybe you can point me in the right direction. Is when the post office gets moved around the corner, regarding, I have had quite a few people coming in asking me regarding parking for disability. Will there be any provisions, do we know, or who do I inform, or is there an open question that we can ask anybody for the disability opposite the post office as it stands?
I don't know. I would have thought it would be a case of having a word with the planners and possibly possibly even county, because they're the highway authority.
Yeah.
But I would suggest the first step would be to contact planning.
The time, because that street is just only parking on one side as it is anyway, so it's going to cause quite a lot of congestion, especially if the person in question's car keeps being on the card, trying to get round. Yeah, okay, that's great, thank you.
Right, thank you. Councillor Casey and then Councillor Wilkie.
Yes, I was
He's forgotten that.
reading a very interesting report you gave to Scarborough Council on the 8th of January, was it, about bathing water quality in the South Bay. I know that's got nothing to do with us. My question isn't about bathing quality, but there was a part in there, actions already planned by the council, the creation of a post for a beach warden to encourage the public not to feed gulls, dispose of litter properly, and enforce dog fouling regulations not only on the beach but on the foreshore, I believe. I've been in contact and I'm part of, I look on to what Keep Filey Tidy post every day, every one of their pickers, waves of waste, the beach clean people, what they post, and it's always litter, dog poo, not only on the seafront and on the beach, but also around the old town, around this area as well. And why can we, we've got a clear problem with litter and dog poo in particular. Why can't Filey have some proper enforcement for these issues?
Right. Can't remember if I mentioned it to you at the last meeting, but I did actually take the petition signed by 1,000 people. That was done by, I've forgotten the lady's name now, lives up there. You know, those.
Lives up there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Lives I presented that at last month's cabinet to Bill Chow, who's the relevant portfolio holder, about dog enforcement basically, and that is being looked at. As regards the beach warden, which was specifically South Bay, Scarborough, because that's where the major problem is with pollution. But also, I have mentioned that up to press when we've had the beach superintendent at Filey, he's actually done some of that work himself of his own back. And I mentioned that at the office, in like with the new beach water for Scarborough, we want something similar, more official than just somebody doing it off their own back. So that is being looked at.
Look at that with interest. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Wilkie and then Councillor Wright.
Can we just quickly back to the e-bar? The preparation of the business case for phase 3, maybe I've missed a meeting on what I'm so sure. Is that the e-bar? So are e-bar saying that they're not going to fund it, or is there no funding for it? Or
That was what Tom will, I'm sure, agreed with me. We got what I consider to be a most unhelpful email from somebody on the e-bar board. And because of that, I was at the borough, and that's why the borough are funding the preparation of that phase 3 business case.
So, and I think that's what we were worried about, wasn't it? Whether phase 3 would actually go ahead, and that's what we mentioned before.
As far as at the moment, as far as the borough is concerned, and certainly as far as I'm concerned, if there's no guarantee that phase 3 goes ahead, we won't be putting any money into phase 2.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I just thought, are they sort of going back on what they were saying?
I don't think they were going back. But I think they were wanting somebody else to start contributing.
To it.
But it was the way it was put, it was very unhelpful.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Councillor Wright.
Chair, just one thing about the Christmas tree down on the Cobble Landing. Beautiful, great idea. Have we sent a letter of thanks to the chap who did it? Yeah. We sent a letter of thanks, or could we?
Well, I've personally thanked them, but I think a letter from the council.
I do, because if people are doing this off their own bat, this is what we want, to get people involved, and they must be encouraged.
Yes, and I was told when I I thanked him that they have the full money for next year.
So I understand. And the other thing.
It wasn't just one person. It was
No,
I know. There was
Rex was
the leader, he can pass it
he
on.
was the lead, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The FTA had a lot to do with it.
Well, yeah, there was the figure, it wasn't a Filey tourism initiative. Yeah,
Well,
it seems to bypass
well, when we send a letter, this should be mentioned in the letter then, the group.
So can we send it to the
Because
FTA
there
as
was
well?
that many groups mentioned in that. I couldn't mention them all, I just didn't have time when I was down there.
No, but I think recognising what the FTA done in
Yeah,
getting the idea
yeah.
off the ground.
Absolutely.
Yes, so a letter to
Rex and the FTA.
Rex and the
And it's on.
this will be from the full council. You're right, Tom, yeah.
There was a lot of people involved. There was individual local businesses, tourism.
I mean,
there was the borough council, the county council. So there was a lot of people.
I mean, would it be active to say everybody involved in?
Yes.
Sorry, forget it.
No, Marion, everybody involved in the project.
I think if you have a look
I was having time to
if you have a look in Filey
And that
today,
covers everything then, doesn't it?
Mr. Mayor,
Right,
if you have a look in Filey today, it will show you who was involved.
right.
Just copy that article.
There was another thing I forgot.
All right, right, Councillor Shackleton then.
Just comment to Kevin really, back to the EVO, and I don't believe that the EVO have a large amount of disposable money for phase 2 or phase 3.
Yeah, I think if I can come back, I think from the initial, when they initially came to us, it was really positive of it, and I think we really felt that they had a really big influence and could bring in a lot of money to do these sorts of things. But
I believe for phase 2, Kevin, they were talking 20,000. Is that right? Did they have 20,000 coins?
Something like that, because they spent about 75 on phase 1, and there was 15 or 20 they got left over. I mean, it's looking, I think, quite positive for phase 2, but there's some new costing just come out for phase 3.
The longer it goes on, those costing rise.
And quite honestly, I think even this 200k that the borough's going to put in, I think it would need a lot of money, like from the town council or anybody else.
It's a splash into the on today's.
Okay. Right, thank you. Any more questions for Councillor Cockrell? No? Thank you very much for your report, Councillor Cockrell. Councillor Squires.
Good evening. Firstly, can I just wish everyone a happy and prosperous new year? You seem to be getting off to an excellent start with the cover landing tree. I have to say, it was really good. It was imaginative. Kids loved it. It was really good, and it extends your season. And this is the profile of Filey. A Freudian slip. And then you've got the Tour de Yorkshire coming, and the track rod, which just keeps the whole thing going, which I just think is so good to help to keep the profile sort of right up there. Now, today I've had a somewhat unsettling day really, because we've had a seminar regarding the budget, which is the main topic obviously of conversation at the moment in council. The settlement presents little change for the council's finances, so that the austerity will continue. Plans from last year saw the county council having to save a further £43 million from its revenue budget by 2019-20. There are plans for £33 million and a saving gap of at least 10 million remains. This gives a total of 169.5 million saved over the decade, which represents a reduction of 34% in the council's spending power. and it's not going to get any better. Of the savings already made, 25%, these are just round figures really, 25% have had impact on frontline services. The majority has come from the back office, staff and management posts and other general efficiencies, about 60%. And the council is committed to continue to prioritise spending in all areas that deal with vulnerable people, both young and old. Despite 5 million of additional funding for adult social care raised through the 2% social care precept and the council tax, the pressures are unrelenting, and this year's county council is expecting a 3 million overspend. Children's services are seeing a similar increase in pressures, although North Yorkshire is praised for its highly effective children's prevention services. But the number of children protection cases is starting to rise. The County Council is renewing its call on the government to give long-term fairer funding for large rural counties such as North Yorkshire. The settlement presents us with a very difficult choice: to take the government offer of increasing council tax by a further 1%, that's without having to go for a referendum, or to make further cuts, which will impact on frontline services. This will be in addition to that already proposed by North Yorkshire's long-term financial strategy, and would enable to raise council tax by 2.99% plus a further 2% towards adult social care. This overall rise would be equivalent to just under £5 per month for an average household. So a consultation on the council tax level is underway, and residents can contribute feedback and comment on the website. These decisions will be taken on County Council Day, which is the 21st of February. We have the usual number of consultations underway, that being, I think, the main one at the moment. But home to school transport policy, particularly for those with special education needs and disabilities, that's going to be very important to some people. So anyone that wants to contribute to that consultation, it would be really appreciated. And then there's the North Yorkshire Health and Wellbeing Board draft pharmacy report. That's another important area. And wellbeing and prevention services. And I mean, these are just a sample of consultations that are ongoing at the moment. But if you go on the website, you can find them all. Now I'm just going to turn now to the meeting that you had with Andrew Stanton on the 6th of December. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you. Now the first thing was Mitford Street, the no entry signs. You asked, can you look at the... we can look at this, but there is no funding for this to be done until the next financial year.
Which is April. Yes?
Yeah, in May really.
This year.
Yes,
this year.
Yeah. Yes, but you'll appreciate there's a lot of competition. And then there's the Station Avenue signs. There was the loading only outside Monsoon. I can't read my own writing. It's loose and twisted. That's been done. That sign's been phoned up or whatever it is. Then there was approaching the roundabout, the new superstore yellow and black sign that's been up for 4 years, and you've asked can this be removed. Well, apparently these were installed by the AA, and we've asked for them to be removed. Approaching the roundabout on the bus station side of the road,
slippery road warning signs is loose. Could it be tightened? Well, that's been done as well. Approaching the roundabout from Tesco, the give way and the no entry signs are twisted and facing Filey town centre. Could it be adjusted? And these have been now adjusted. Could the white lines and direction arrows approaching the Station Avenue, West Avenue, Murray Street crossroads be refreshed? These are being inspected, but they are considered legible at the moment, because actually I've brought it within. White lining on the cobbles that does not last well and would need to be refreshed each year. Station Avenue loading bay seems to be being ignored. Could the lining be refreshed and the bay enforced? The linings markings are on the cobbles, which means they won't last for very long. A decision will need to be taken as to how often they are to be refreshed. And he asked, does the town council still feel the loading bay is required? Is there any reaction to that?
Anybody got any queries on that one? Loading bays? Councillor Hall, Anthony?
The Station Avenue loading bay, so that's for...
Is it the one outside Spartan Show?
Yeah.
I have actually parked there, being totally unaware it was a loading bay. And we were saying that you don't get any big wagons down there unloading. I've never seen any. It seems unnecessary to have the whole area as a loading bay.
It's just querying, is it still required?
Councillor Casey?
Well, you just said that, but I've seen 3 spare wagons in the since Christmas parked there, loading onto the trolleys and wheeling it to the spare because they couldn't get on Murray Street. So I think I prefer the loading bay there than to be outside the spare myself.
Well, and I presume that people will pull in there just to park for short periods.
Yeah, they will.
I walk now.
Don't require councillors' claims.
The problem with these linings seems to be on the cobbles. Apparently they don't last very long. So you've really got to keep doing them.
Give us a break, perhaps.
Yeah. Councillor Casey, do you want to say?
No.
Councillor Meek.
Regarding they've got to keep being done constantly, have we any idea when the last time they were done?
Not that constantly.
No, precisely. So if they're done again, to my knowledge, I've been here since 2009 and I can't recall them being done. So that is 8 years.
The NYCC need to be fined constantly, don't they, really, because I've been here since 2006 and I've never seen
Well,
it.
it seems to be saying that to me, it seems to be saying that they really need to be done each year. Well, it's not going to happen.
Well, if you can do them once, then just let's revisit in 5 years.
I'll have a word with them about that and see if I can. Well, I doubt they'll get anything too solid.
Have you?
No, I've still got some more. You were at this meeting, I wasn't. West Avenue. On the right-hand side of the road, opposite number 15A West Avenue, a rocking channel block in the gutter near Burton Stonewall Solicitors. An order has been raised to get this rocking channel block repaired. So I don't know how long it will take, but there has been an order put in. So. Bellevue Street. Outside the household stores, the no right turn sign is very, very faded and almost illegible. Could this be renewed? This will be replaced by the local highways officer soon once the sign comes into stock. So apparently, yes, it will be done as soon as the possible. At the corner of Thorpe and co-solicitors, there is a metal post for a sign but no sign is attached. Could this be removed or the sign replaced? An order has been raised to get this post removed, so hopefully that will happen very soon. Anyway, an order has been raised. Wharfdale Estate. Trees around the estate, there are several that are obstructing the street lights. Could these be trimmed back before the spring? Well, we have asked the Scarborough Borough Council for a quote to look at all the trees on Wharfdale and to trim back any that are obscuring street lighting. Once we receive the quotation, we will hopefully be able to order the work.
Good.
I don't know.
Before the birds start nesting.
Conditions of the footpath at the junction of Silverwood Avenue and Cawthorne Avenue near lamp column number 1. It's the edge of the footpath where it meets the grass. Have I got it right?
Yeah.
Repairs to this section of footpath will be included in future resurfacing and reconstruction schemes for the area.
Good.
We haven't said when that's likely to be. Now, the update on Crescent Hill. The contractor's back on site following the holiday period, and they're planning to create a crossing point for pedestrians at the lower part of Crescent Hill to provide access to Royal Parade, which will allow them to start work on the lower section of Crescent Hill. Good. So, are you pleased with how that works going forward? I know it's taking longer than I anticipated.
Yeah.
But you know, you're pleased with the quality
Yeah.
of it.
Okay, is
Right,
that...
has anybody got anything?
Councillor Wilkie.
Sorry.
Councillor Mead.
Just around by the infant school, near the ambulance station. We had an issue a few years ago where opposite the school, on the corner, cars were ramping upon the grass verge, causing a problem. Some little white plastic posts that have stopped that problem. Now on the opposite side now, cars are constantly just driving across that grass, parking upon the grass, as 4x4s are just totally ripping into shreds. So could we ask for some of those white posts around that corner?
The white post around the corner.
I don't know how they put it, they're only shallow, aren't they? But they're about that tall.
Yeah, and it's opposite some that's already there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you sort of drive up with the school on your left, there's the roundabout, and it's
Yeah. So you want it the same as what's opposite?
same, but just going right round the corner to stop them driving on that grass. They literally drive on one end and drive off the other, and it's just churning them like shocking at the moment.
Well,
That's possible.
I've been amazed sometimes where I've seen parents park their car.
There's one person parks on a little bit of land. There's the entrance to the ambulance station, and there's a little bit of a footpath there before you go around the corner, and somebody just parks there every day.
Yeah.
Apart from when somebody comes from the wardens to make sure no one's parking on the police or something.
Just a minute, Councillor Mead.
Thank you.
The Crescent Hill cobbles are putting down. I had a walk down today, they've got 3/4 of it done. I've passed a comment to the two people that are working, what a superb job they're doing. And then what Ellen has just said, they're going to go down a little bit further, move the audience so people can walk round where they're working, and they've got a bit of a slipway and then marry it up. But it's, if anybody's been down, they're doing a very, very good job.
They are. They're a lot better than the original ones that should not have been.
If you could pass that on, Ellen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. The delay, I think, has been getting hold of the cobbles.
Oh, is
That's
it?
what caused the delay before Christmas.
The gentleman did have one complaint. It says, it's too, the wind coming off the sea, it's far too cold.
Councillor Shackleton.
It's a question for Kevin, really. You know, when I was chair, Kevin, I did ask the police to show a bit more of a presence down there, throwing out of town.
Yeah.
Is that still the case? Is it still there, you know?
I mean, I don't go there every day, but I have seen on odd occasions either one of the police officers or a warden stood outside the school, and on one particular day that car was parked on that little bit of footpath, but generally people park sensibly when somebody is there. But if someone's there, if they're driving up to the school and they see somebody there who'll park sensibly, then the next day they just park recklessly. So the only way to do it is to come along and catch them in the act, if you see what I mean. But you've got to be strict and enforce some tickets, but you generally get a move on, don't you, to start with. But you have to get
you can't have somebody there all the
every
time.
day. Yes, exactly. I understand that completely. You know, it's always a problem around schools, isn't it? But they do go on reasonably regular occasions.
Might be an idea just to refresh that.
Yeah. But you know,
But the
it's
only thing
difficult, isn't it?
Sorry. The only thing we're putting is as a posting, but I mean it's been done on one side of the road, so I can't really see a problem with the other. But it's going to make grass cutting a bit more difficult and keeping it tidy, isn't it?
Well, I don't suppose it will if you put them right. I see them right next to the curb. I'm not saying put them in the middle, but something needs to be stopped. The cars going on there because they literally are parked 6 or 7 just off on there. Yeah. And they don't reverse off, they just drive straight across it.
Okay, Councillor Casey.
On that subject, I emailed the police and parking services 2 weeks before the Christmas holidays about that specific problem, and they both promised for the next few months that we'd be having regular patrols up there. So I don't think we need to contact them.
It is difficult. Yeah. It's difficult. Short of having someone there every day, it's impossible, isn't it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, at this point I'll move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Councillor Cockrell to speak. Councillor Cockrell?
Yeah, couple of points. Regarding the parking at the cemetery, I think that land belongs to the Borough Council.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because I have reported it in the past and I chased it up.
I mean,
so that's regarding putting the post.
Yeah, but on the other side, they just arrived. Yeah. All of a sudden.
I don't know. I'll certainly look into that. Crescent Hill, yeah, I think that's a fantastic job eventually. And I'm talking to I'll call him the clerk of work today, and they're hoping to get it finished by mid-February. I should have mentioned in my report, as Helen did in hers, council tax consultation. That actually goes before Cabinet next Tuesday, and then it'll be out for consultation.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll now end the adjournment and only members of council may speak. Councillor Meek.
Regarding what's been said about the finishing time from the clerk of works, talking to the 2 gentlemen that are actually doing the work, it says when you forecast, when you be done, it says definitely by end of month. They were his words to me.
Was there any time I can do it?
No, they're actually on with it now, time I think they're done.
I'm doing some work.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody happy now on that one?
Thank you.
Yes? Thank you very much.
Can I just come with you, Chair?
Wait a minute. I'll section you in for the before. I know you're going to ask. All right. Number 10, Clerk and RFO report. Just before we will take the Clerk's report, on number 6, with jumping about so much, I actually missed outside bodies on it, and Councillor Casey has two short reports to give on that.
Which I think have been distributed this evening, so if you've read them, I don't need to go through them, other than to say that the FTA are going from strength to strength. There were 8 new members there at the last meeting, we've got 66 new members now, 66 members now, and the festival itself will be going ahead. The arena will be a lot smaller because we're not having a motorcycle display team, but it's going to be just as good as it ever was. And I'll take any questions.
Is there any questions for Councillor Casey? I nearly said Cockrell.
I'm not that one.
Begins with the same. That's on Culture Park.
Yes.
So, does everybody accept those?
Yes.
Right, thank you very much. Now, we'll go on to the RFO's report, and I will hand over to the clerk.
Yes, I'll just quickly read through the report. So I've put on an action log of what was resolved at last month's meeting and what's been done. That's obviously been closed today. It was recently brought to my attention that some people would like to see the more long-term action log return to it in the future. I didn't have time, I didn't do it this one because the papers had already gone out. In the future I'll sort of put a more long-term one as well as these short-term ones. Then secondly I've listed some upcoming council meetings, staff committee on the 11th, finance on the 17th, planning on the 22nd, strategic planning on the 25th. Then third item, a member sent this request from the chair of the SPA to me to ask you guys this question. I won't read it all out word for word, but there's basically a question around will there be any objections to having an Easter egg hunt in Memorial Gardens. I mean, you don't have to give any feedback right now, you can email me, but if there's anyone who's got any thoughts straight off.
Councillor Shackleton first.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I have any objections, but I think the British Legion should be asked about this.
Well, I have a meeting next month actually, it's British Legion first one. If you like, I'll take it forward at that. It's before the full council meeting, so it'll be fresh in my mind. Okay? Councillor Casey.
Yeah, as a matter of courtesy, Jeannie Williams, the chair, brought it to here for your information to get your okay. I have discussed it with Councillor Cockrell, who has no objection, although he's not the portfolio anymore. And Rowena Marsden has indicated that there'll be no problem, but I take on board that British Legion have an interest in there, and that'd be very good if you could take that there.
I will do.
It's just for very young children. It's only fair going to last a couple of hours tops.
Yeah. Councillor Holding back.
I think consultation has answered my question there. Is that it's just the egg hunt, there's not going to be cables?
Nothing else, no.
Just the egg hunt. Right. That's fine. Okay, is there any more questions for Councillor Casey? No, sorry. Tom?
So, yeah, and then just following on from that, there's a couple of events that are coming up coming up this year in May. And then finally, I've put on recent renewal engagements, the many went over Christmas. And that brings to an end my report, so does anyone have any questions?
Have we not got special council meeting, not we?
Yes, end of this month.
31st of January.
31st?
Yeah.
There's an agenda right at the end where it
Yes.
lines up.
Yeah, I remember seeing it now. Yeah, thank you.
Is there any more questions for our clerk?
Have you not got any engagements for this month then?
I only put down the past one.
He only put down the past
Yeah,
one.
future ones, we'd like to know where it's going.
Yes.
Just put future down.
Yeah, we want to know where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we'd like to
So we could
know.
avoid it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, everything then.
I know you would. Just a minute. Is there any more councillors, any questions for the clerk? No? Once again, at this point I will move standing order 3E to adjourn the meeting so that
John.
quick.
Yeah, a quick question for Tom. I don't know if it's under this particular piece in finances. That when I read through your reports, that it shows you have 500,000, £500,000 in different investments that for in banking. What do you do with that money? Are you allowed to spend that money on investment on things, or is it just kept in the really goods account, earning interest? What do you actually give a part of that each year, or do you specify a part of that each year to invest in certain investments within the community? And if so, what are they? And if not, why not?
Certain members may also wish to speak after I've answered. There's a sort of very long version of the answer. I'll give you the slightly abridged version. The money, so there is a certain amount of funds that are in housing reserves that we can't spend without the Secretary of State signing it off. And the capital funds from the sale of land, they make up the bulk of what's there. So we couldn't, I think the goal with it in future would be to spend it on one or two really big items, for instance, like the sports development, which the council has earmarked £100,000 for. So that's the bulk of it. There is a number of accounts where, in line with the council's investment strategy, that there are savings which, for a certain amount of money, which has to keep preset low. And then certain amount of funds in line with best practice is kept in reserve. This is to offset inflationary costs. And then there is amounts also earmarked for other projects, which is like flood alleviation schemes. I mean, in the paperwork there's a more sort of breakdown, and I'm quite happy if you want to come and speak to me about the sort of detail. I've tried to give you the 2-minute version there rather than the 2-hour one. But it's all risk assessed, it's all sort of gone through, and I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of pounds earmarked to various schemes that will directly support all the community that one element.
So if you want to come in and speak to our clerk, if you ring up first and make an appointment. Okay.
Yeah, that's good, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more questions? I will now end the adjournment. Members of the council may be sorry, I didn't get the last word out there. Councillor Cockrell.
Yeah, Mr. Moog said about £500,000, but according to the figures I see, you've got 780,000.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. No, fine. So now I'll carry on now and say members of the council may only speak. I'm nearly got out, Councillor Cockrell.
I was just going to add that money is spread out in various investments.
It is. If you don't know, he's the chair of the
I noticed that on the report already.
And it's also the external auditors advice that we hold at least half of our preset requirement in reserve as well.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Right, thank you. Is any more on our clerk's report? No? Thank you. Schedule 11. Schedule of payments. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask us any questions about the schedule? You've all read them, they're all on your iPads. No? In that case, could I have a proposer and a seconder to approve the schedule, please? Councillor Busnworth and Councillor Meek. All those in favour? Okay. Number 12, bank reconciliation. A. Council to consider the bank reconciliation for October 2017. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask questions about the reconciliation for October? Yes? No? No? Therefore, could I have a proposer and a seconder, please, to approve these? Okay. Councillor Wilkie and Councillor Meek. All those in favour, please. Thank you. B. Another one. Council to consider the bank reconciliation for November 2017. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask questions about the reconciliation for November? Yes? No? Could I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Councillor Busnworth and Councillor Mead, all those in favour, please. Thank you. We'll move on to number 13. Second quarter report. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask any questions about the second quarter documents? By members, I mean members of Town Council. Yes? No? No? Could I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Councillor Busman and Councillor Meek, all those in favour? Thank you. Now we go on, we bypass 14, we've already done it. Number 15, we're nearly there actually. Date and time of the next meeting.
You've missed the internal audit.
Internal audit, yeah.
You are. 13.
13.
13 internal audit.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. The internal audit report. Okay. Does any members wish to ask any questions on that one? No? Can we have a proposal?
No, I'd just like to comment on it.
Comment, yes.
As you know, it is a good report, and I would just like to congratulate our relatively new auditor in carrying on the splendid work of the council.
Right, thank you for that. Is there any more comments? No? Could I have a proposer and a second for that, please? Councillor Anthony and Councillor Wilkie, all those in favour, please? Thank you. Now we'll go on to 15. I will close by thanking all those who donated at last month's meeting. The collection came to £25 for charity, which will go to St Catherine's. This is the Christmas card one. Okay. Please note that there are 2 meetings coming up. On Wednesday the 31st of January 2018, commencing at 7 p.m, in the Council Chamber, there will be a special meeting to discuss the 2018/19 Council budget and honorary citizens. Okay, you've got that in your diaries. Please could councillors confirm the date and time of the next ordinary meeting as 14th of February 2018, commencing at 7 p.m. in this council chamber.
Very romantic.
So you've got the council okay?
Apologies. I'll be giving some apologies for that meeting. I'll be in Peterborough.
Right.
With work.
Fine.
Fine.
But that meeting will stand as 14th of February at 7 p.m. in the council chamber. I thank you all for attending the meeting, the first one this year, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas and wish you all a Happy New Year.